Yo, what's going on everybody? So I had an opportunity to take a look at Boruto episode 112, and like a lot of you guys, one thing that immediately stood out to me is that Sasuke was going through looking at the various markers, and he came to the conclusion that Urashiki was acting as a scout and he was gathering intel for Momoshiki and Kinshiki. It's something that I've said for a while now, and most recently with what happened in the Boruto manga chapter, it's really just made me double down on that belief. And one thing that really stood out is that Sasuke said, I'm sure that he'll show up in the near future. Now, I know because of how the Boruto anime does as far as pacing, that the near future, because of how slow they're moving along in the timeline, because of that, I could definitely see a scenario that this takes like 40 episodes to happen. I hope that's not the case. I really think that the Boruto anime definitely needs to go ahead and just solve the question of what happened to Urashiki, because for those of you who are unfamiliar with the origin story with Urashiki, so in 2015, when the script for Naruto Boruto the movie was being written, Masashi Kishimoto, the series creator of Naruto, and Kodachi, the man who writes the Boruto anime and manga story, at the time they were co-writing the Boruto movie, and Urashiki was a character that Masashi Kishimoto had already designed, and they planned to implement him in the movie, and there was a lot of material that was cut out of the movie, and a big part of the reason why it was cut out is that the movie was getting too lengthy, and so they decided that instead of focusing on 3 antagonists, it'd probably be better if they just focused on 2. And when you look at the movie, Boruto the movie hands down is one of my favorite Naruto movies. It's in my top 3, and so I totally think that they made the right choice there. But in the manga is now a full year and some change ahead of where the anime is in terms of where they are in the timeline. They're a full year ahead as of the arc where Kashin Koji shows up, and when I mean shows up, when he has this battle with the character in the Boruto franchise. I'm not going to spoil who it is because I got some anime only viewers who are going to be watching this video, but you got a pretty awesome fight that's coming when the anime gets around to the Owl arc. That's all I'm going to say on that. Now, what I will say is that they have an opportunity to give us an anime only arc that focuses on Urashiki potentially returning to Earth, and I could definitely see it where he just comes back to gather more intel, and because Sasuke has all these markers set up, Sasuke could simply just teleport to the location. And we know that Sasuke is investigating about the Otsutuski clan. We know that in the near future in the Boruto anime, when they finally get to the Majina Bandits arc, that he's gonna be investigating what happens with the Kara organization. So we know that it's coming. We know Kara has a connection to the Otsutuski. So when you look at all that, I really feel as if Urashiki could be used as a potential way to segue into what we get for the manga content. In fact, this would be one of the few times I would be okay if, when they adapted the Sasuke Shinden novel, the second one, not the Sunrise novel, but there's another one called, I believe it's called The Teacher's Prize Pupil, which is basically a novel where Sasuke gets involved with Team 7, and he has this moment where he has an imitation of ice release. Him and Konohamaru have a pretty interesting fight on a train with some bandits, if I'm not mistaken. And so when you look at that novel has a lot of interesting things in it, but I really feel like after that novel adaptation's over, before we go into the Majina Bandits arc, you could have a mini arc where Sasuke, as he's investigating, ends up fighting Urashiki, and maybe Urashiki escapes, but we definitely need to see this happen. We definitely need to see it because it would give us another thing to keep in the back of our minds as the Majina Bandits arc is happening. So that way when Sasuke appears out of nowhere and is talking to Boruto after his sparring match with Naruto and is basically saying like, you haven't learned much as my pupil. Well, this would be a great way to introduce the whole thing with what happened with Katasuke. And I won't spoil that for anime only viewers, but there's a major revelation with Katasuke, the leader of the scientific ninja tools, that I don't think has been fully explored in the Boruto anime yet. And so that'd be a great segue because Sasuke can say, I've been investigating Urashiki, but you could even go a step further. You could have Sasuke kill Urashiki and not gain any intel whatsoever. That'd be a great way for Orochimaru to get his hands on the body of an Otsutuski and to break down their DNA, break down their bodies, and come up with the perfect countermeasure, because we know Hokage Naruto has Orochimaru being watched. We know Hokage Naruto is in that moment where he is relying on Orochimaru because he's a necessary evil. This is something we definitely need because the Otsutuski clan is absolutely broken. Like Naruto and Sasuke, they sealed away Kaguya, but if they just had a straight fight with her, they wouldn't have won. Kaguya was just beasting these dudes. Kaguya was beasting them. She was in control for most of that fight. And so when you look at that and the fact that there are going to be people more powerful than her coming, this could be a really great way to have Konoha be fully prepared, especially if you know what's happening in the manga right now. Like, there's some crazy stuff going on right now, in particular when it comes to the Jubi, and that's all I'm gonna say on that, because I don't want to spoil it for the anime only viewers, but I mean, there's some crazy shit going on. And what I really think will be interesting is a Sasuke versus Urashiki fight could give the Boruto anime the exact same pop that the Sasuke and Naruto versus Momoshiki fight did, because we could see Sasuke in a situation where he's fighting all out at 100% of his power, because when he fought against Momoshiki, he was severely drained because he teleported himself, he teleported Boruto, Katasuke's assistant, and 4 Kages. So essentially he teleported 8 people when you include himself to another dimension. Just teleporting Sasuke takes a lot of his chakra when he uses that space-time ninjutsu to open up these portals. And another thing that would be interesting is if during that fight when Sasuke goes all out, you find out that Toneri has been sealed. Like, we know it as the audience, but Sasuke and Naruto don't know it. And we know that Toneri has information about Boruto's Jogan. This would be a great way to bring Toneri back into the story. This would be a great way for us to get a further jump start on what the Jogan is and going over more of the stuff that's been revealed about it. This would be a great way. This would be a really great opportunity. And so I think it would also be interesting for Toneri to actually meet the son of Naruto and Hinata, given all that history there. And also, I mean, Sasuke is able to move through dimensions, so it'd be a great way to kind of move there, and it would give the story just another pop. It'd give it another pop. It moved the pacing of the story further along until we get to the manga. Now, I know that once we get to manga with the Mujina Bandits arc and everything that happens after that, I mean, the story's gonna move very quickly, because once the anime starts doing that, they don't have much room to do extra filler. They don't have room for that. And so the reason is because the next few arcs in the manga, they run back to back to back, and until we get to when Kawaki is introduced into the story, and because of what's happening in the current events, there's not much room for any type of a time skip. We know that time has passed since the whole thing with Kawaki and Boruto, and we know that time's passed since then. And I don't want to spoil family viewers, but there's been a significant amount of time. There's been some training that's going on, so that'd be a great opportunity. That'd be a great opportunity to kind of give the manga more breathing room. That way, when you start doing the material, when you start doing just straight manga only, you have the opportunity to now have the manga give you fresh material, to where now when you do all this filler that's added in to pad the story of what happens during that miniature time skip that occurs, now you have something to build back up to. But I want to know from you guys. So when you look at Sasuke versus Urashiki, how do you think that fight plays out? I think it'd be really cool if the anime team just blew part of their budget on it. I really think it'd be cool if they did this. Like, they blow part of their budget and they just have these guys moving from dimension to dimension, and Sasuke is batting away that hook with that fishing hook with lightning style jutsu. I think that'd be really cool to see something like that. But I think a great way to compare it will be what happened in Dragon Ball Super Broly, where Broly and Gogeta are fighting and they're just breaking through all these different time-space continuums, and you just see the backgrounds changing. I think it'd be cool to have something like that, where Sasuke's just teleporting and fighting Urashiki, moving from area to area to area, and then they make it back to Earth. I think that'd be something that would be very much appreciated by Naruto fans. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.